Well, we all know that getting outdoors for a walk is great exercise and also great therapy, but there is one young man who has been taking walking to a whole nother level. Isaiah Glenn Shields has been on the road for nearly 400 days, passed through 20 states, and traveled more than 7,000 miles, all of it on foot.
So I'm on a walk. And the best way to describe it is I'm trying to walk from the westernmost point of the continental United States to its easternmost point. And those points are found respectively in Washington and Maine. So starting last May, I left my house in Utah and I walked to that point in Washington. It's called Cape Delmarva on the Olympic Peninsula. And ever since then, I turned around and I've been heading towards Lubec, Maine, which is where the easternmost point is.
It's a long way and a long time for the 28-year-old to walk. Usually the first question he's asked is why.
But it's just in a sense of adventure. You know, I just really wanted to learn. I felt like all the time you're in school and college, you're learning a lot. And as soon as I entered the workforce, that kind of slowed down and I didn't find that quite as much as I'd like. So I wanted to get back out there, hear people's stories, see beautiful things, grow as a person, deal with a lot of struggle, and grow because of that.
We were actually coming to find you.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We
Task
came literally
specific.
to find you, yeah.
We caught up with Isaiah in Berlin as he is making his way up Delmarva towards his eventual destination. More and more people have learned about his journey and are seeking him out.
You get to hear so many walks of life. You get to hear so many versions of what it means to be a human, which is kind of what I'm really interested in. There's just so many different stories and so many paths you can take. Well, I appreciate it. What's your name?
I'm Erin.
Erin? Isaiah.
The stories and the people are a big reason he's on this trek, but the path that Isaiah is taking has not always been easy.
Yeah, I sleep outside, and I have been for a year plus now, so it's just the extreme lack of comfort. There's a great deal of uncertainty. You never know. I never know where I'm going to sleep. I haven't planned anything out. Weather is a real struggle. I've walked through countless snowstorms, rainstorms, windstorms, sandstorms. I walk on roads pretty much all the time, and when you spend that much time on the road, there's just a high probability that one guy is not going to be paying attention.
Since arriving on Delmarva, Isaiah has not had to sleep in his tent quite as often. It sure seems he's received a full dose of Eastern Shore hospitality.
I've either been offered a home or a bedroom or an RV every day for like the last week and a half. So it's been uncharacteristically kind. And I think that's a combination of factors. One is just a really tight community and a really kind community where everybody knows each other and they can trust each other, and it's a real special pocket of the world. And then I've been sharing the journey more, so there's more for people to show their friends, and then it spreads better awareness than perhaps I have been doing in the past. But yeah, it's been really, really, really pleasant. I'll have to be honest.
After college, Isaiah worked for a couple years as a corporate finance analyst, but soon after, he decided to take a long walk.
So yeah, it was tough to quit a job that paid well, and I had a house, and to just leave that and to live outside when I know I own a mattress and a roof. But for me personally, and I guess it kind of depends on who you are, I just really enjoy the sense of everything's new all the time, and it never gets stale, it never gets old. And I struggled a little bit going to the same office every day, and then it was kind of, you just feel like a rat race, right? You go to your job, your house, and back. And there's just too much world out there for me to see to be kind of content with that. And I don't think that's the case for everybody, but whatever your thing is, that's what I encourage you to try, even if it's a little bit scary.
Leaving a job and a home may be scary, but for Isaiah, there's nothing creepy about crossing the country.
The world is not as scary as a place as people think. I think a lot of people sometimes let fear dictate what they do with their life. You know, there's a lot of uncertainty and they just imagine the worst. And it rarely ever is the worst. Bad things do happen. I don't want to make light of that, but the probability of it happening to you is just much lower than you think. Kindness and empathy and compassion are attributes that are fairly evenly distributed throughout the hearts of all people in humanity. People there, when I get to these places I've been warned about, are just good people going about their life. The majority of them, the vast majority of them. And the other thing I think I've come to conclude about people is that we're much more capable than we give ourselves credit for. People tend to rise to whatever task is sort of asked of them. And I think people have a lot more potential than sometimes they realize.
We sure hope Isaiah Glenn Shields enjoyed his sojourn on the shore And as the walking man continues his adventure across America, maybe a few folks will be persuaded to get outdoors and discover something new.